Welcome to This Explainer. Sometimes the absolute most powerful insights are distilled into just one single sharp thesis. And today, that's exactly what we're looking at. We're unpacking a perfectly crafted sentence from our source material all about cultivating resilience. We're going to break down this concept word by word to extract a super practical framework for how you approach the roadblocks in your own life. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive right into this by addressing the massive elephant in the room. Are you born with resilience? It's honestly a huge cultural misconception. For so long, society has just treated resilience as this fixed, innate personality trait. You hear people talk about it like it's some sort of genetic lottery, like some people are just naturally tough, and if you aren't, well, tough luck. You either have it or you totally don't. But as you'll see, the source text completely shatters that myth. It challenges that static view and replaces it with something far more dynamic and honestly way more hopeful.
Section 1. The nature of resilience. Our source material completely redefines our fundamental understanding of what it means to bounce back. It states, and I really want you to hear this, resilient skills can be developed to prepare for stressful events and to handle day-to-day challenges. Now, it sounds super simple at first glance, right? But it's actually a highly precise thesis bridging the gap between who we are right now and who we need to be when things get tough. We're going to thoughtfully unpack this piece by piece to really extract the maximum meaning hidden inside this one sentence.
Which brings us to section 2, a developable skill. Now, what's really interesting here is the total shift away from passive terminology. Notice the very first two words, resilience skills. This is a massive semantic shift. The text explicitly categorizes resilience not as a state of being, not as just an emotion, and certainly not as some inherent trait. It calls them skills. Think about what a skill is. Driving a car, that's a skill. Playing the guitar, skill. By defining resilience this way, our source tells us that this is an ability that you have to actively build, practice, refine, and maintain. It completely removes the excuse of saying, well, I'm just not a resilient person. Instead, it frames it as, oh, I just haven't fully practiced my resilience skills yet.
So the crucial point here is that they can be developed. Because they're skills, they are completely subject to growth. And honestly, this is an incredibly empowering revelation. It implies a trajectory. Wherever your baseline ability to handle stress is today, that is absolutely not your permanent ceiling. You aren't stuck. Through conscious effort, these skills can be cultivated over time. You are literally the architect of your own mental fortitude.
Moving on to section 3, major events versus daily life. Our source text doesn't just tell us what resilience is, it actually identifies two very specific arenas where it has to be applied. And this brilliantly illustrates a really fascinating dichotomy. On one side, we have preparing for stressful events, and on the other side, handling day-to-day challenges. These require two totally different tempos of resilience. One is deeply proactive, getting ready for the storms you can see on the horizon or sudden massive shocks. The other is actively managing the constant, low-grade friction of just existing in the modern world. Our source is basically telling us that true resilience isn't just for emergencies. It's a comprehensive toolkit for everything. Let's zoom in on the first half of that equation, prepare for stressful events. Notice the verb here, prepare. This points to using these developed skills as a preparatory foundation. Life is undeniably going to throw some major hurdles your way. Big, unavoidable stressors, we all face them. What the text is arguing is that by actively developing your resilience skills right now when things might be calm, you are building a protective buffer. You're stocking your mental toolkit so that when a major stressful event does hit, you aren't scrambling from a deficit. You're relying on your preparation. But preparation is really only half the equation. Let's move to the second half and see how this builds. It says, handle day-to-day challenges. Think about the verb here, handle. This isn't about bracing for impact. This is active, ongoing management. I want you to just reflect on your own life right now. It's the traffic jams, right? The sudden tight deadlines, the miscommunications. These day-to-day challenges might not be life-altering on their own, but they compound. The source material is reminding us that your resilient skills are just as necessary for navigating a super frustrating Tuesday morning as they are for those massive life events. Handling the small stuff efficiently is what preserves your energy for the big stuff. So what does this all mean for us? We've broken down the text. We know it's a skill, we know it can be developed, and we know we need it for both the major storms and the daily friction, which leaves us with this final, absolutely vital question. How will you start developing your resilience for tomorrow's challenges? Remember, it's not a trait you either have or lack. It's a muscle just waiting to be flexed. You have the blueprint right in front of you. Start treating your resilience as a dynamic, active project that you can begin working on right now, today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep building those skills, and I'll see you next time.